Would you like to increase your income by 5 times, save an additional $30,000 in 5 months, and work less doing your dream job? This is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com, and let me share you a true story on how you can actually do that. All right, enter one of my clients, Katie. And Katie was working a job she didn't want to be at anymore, and it paid okay. She made a few $1,000s a month, and she didn't want to be at it anymore, and she wanted to be a full-time life coach. And we set a plan for her in 12 months to be able to leave her job. Now, what happens with a lot of people is they want to leave their job instantly. Instead, we set up a plan. I said, treat your job like an investor. So that means let's set a plan for how much money you can have saved in a certain amount of time frame. Our goal was $30,000 in 12 months. It only took her 5 months to do it. $30,000 in 5 months, and she was out of the job. And during that process, only able to do life coaching, which was what she wanted to do, only able to do it on the weekends and after her 9-to-5 job. So very, very, very limited amount of hours. She ended up making $20,000 a month life coaching, only working a few hours during the day because she was at a 9-to-5 job. So her 9-to-5 job was paying her a few $1,000s a month, and she was making 5-6 times more than that, only having a few hours a day to actually work on it. It's like, how does that happen? And the first thing to really wrap your mind around, and in a lot of the videos I give information-based teachings. And so I wanted to share this real life story of an absolutely amazing success story. A real life success story of somebody saying, I'm going to do this. And the first thing that's really important to wrap your mind around is get rid of plan B and get rid of plan C and get rid of plan D, because you have to put all your eggs in one basket. You have to say, this is what I'm going to do, and there's no alternative. That's it. There's no alternative to it. And what happens is we get in a place where we don't want to be somewhere anymore, or we don't want to experience our financial situation anymore, or our career situation anymore. And that discontent doesn't allow us to think clearly. And so what Katie and I did is think clearly. We said, how much money are you spending? Really, how much money are you spending? It's amazing how people have no idea how much money that they actually need to live. Now, the reason this is important to know is because if you're wanting to make a change in your life, you need to know how much money you're going to need from your new idea in order to support you quitting your old one, which is what we had to do with Katie. We had to say, how much money is it going to cost you if you quit your job tomorrow, for instance? How much money would you need in order to live? So whatever that number is, that's the baseline bottom 0-point goal that has to be hit. Now, what is the quickest way to be able to leave a job? 1, having an income stream, but 2, and probably most importantly, having lump sum money saved. And that's why I always say, treat your job like an investor. So Katie's goal was to save $30,000 in 12 months. $30,000 in 12 months. It only took her 5 months to do it. Why did it take her 5 months to do it? Why did it take 5 months? Because she finally had a clear plan and a clear way out of her job. You know, what happens is we want to leave circumstances and situations, but we don't have a clear plan and we can't see how to actually get out of it. So it keeps us in a cyclical nature where we're just staying where we are. We're just staying where we are because we can't see the clear way out. So I said to Katie, you know, you're making whatever it was, a couple $100s a month coaching right now. We need to get that income up. Now, all of that income is going straight into your savings account. You're not spending any of it. It's going straight into your savings account. And we put a plan together for Katie to earn more money as a coach. And we set short-term, reachable goals. Short-term, reachable goals. So if you're watching this right now, what are short-term reachable goals that you can get to, financially or not, that you can set small incremental goals? It's the same way I work if I'm saving money. I set a big long-term goal, but then I set short-term incremental goals that I can hit. They're a stretch, but they're not like, I'm gonna have $1 million saved by next Tuesday. No, I'm setting goals that are achievable if I really stretch. And that's what we did with her. It was, okay, you're gonna have 2 new clients by next Saturday. You're gonna be charging this much money. Here's how it's gonna look. And we sat down and we made a real plan. Just like if you're going from Los Angeles to Phoenix, how do you get there? Well, today we have GPS, but if it was back in the day, you'd have a map and you'd have a plan to get there. We're gonna take the 15 freeway here. It's gonna cross over to this freeway here. You'd know how to get from A to B. You'd know how to get from where you are to where you wanna be. Now, the plan in your life for you to get to where you are to where you wanna be is gonna change at times. But the trouble is, people never give any thought to what is a plan that I can adopt, where when the universe responds and it gives me new plans, new actions, new things, I can change my plan, but what is a baseline that I can adhere to? And that's what we did with Katie. Here's how many clients you're gonna have, here's how much we're gonna charge, and she's like, shit, that's really uncomfortable. You know, I don't know if I'm worth that much, I don't know if I could get that many clients, but it wasn't like you're gonna have 9,000 clients in 4 days. It was achievable, it was realistic enough where her mind could wrap around it so that she could implement it. So, while only working, she was working a 9-to-5 job, so she only had Saturdays and Sundays and maybe an hour here or there on the weekdays after she got home from the 9-to-5 at 6:30, 7 o'clock or whatnot. She started making $20,000 a month as a coach, while only making a couple $1,000s at her job. So she was working a few hours a week as a coach, making $20,000 a month, and then she was working 8 hours a day, making a few $1,000s a month at her job. So the trick is to create a business, a job, a passion project that can supplement your current income. That's the quickest and easiest way to comfortably leave a job. Of course, you can just quit and see what happens. I don't recommend that because of the stress that's involved with the uncertainty. But if that's for you, then go for it. But otherwise, treat your job like an investor. Pull as much money from your job as you can that you can save to amass capital. Capital equals freedom. What is capital? It's money that you have. And that's why Katie's goal was to save $30,000 in 12 months. Because if she had $30,000, she was gonna have 6, 9, 12 months to live off of if she got sick of her job and wanted to quit before her coaching business was making her enough money to support her. She'd at least have the capital to quit and wouldn't be freaking out and worried about it. So that's what I invite you to consider is like, you know, sometimes people watch these videos and they say, yeah, but that's a good theory. There are so many stories of people that said, you know what, I've had it up to here and here's what I'm gonna do and here's what I'm gonna create and I'm going to do it. I'm gonna do it. Katie would listen to her hypnosis. She'd write her affirmation down, how much money she had saved, how much money she was making. But then she implemented the real life plan to do it. So if you or somebody you know is in a place like that, put a real life plan together. Like, what is some steps you could take in your waking hours with your eyes open to supplement your income, to create a new career path, to push yourself forward? What is a step you can take? Because a lot of times we want it, but we've never sat down in third dimensional reality and thought it out. Like, how can this look? What are steps I can take? And then looking at our finances. How much money do I actually need to live? So how much money do I need to be making for me to leave my job, for me to travel around the world, or whatever it is? How much money do I need? And then, how much money am I truly making at my job, and how much of that money am I spending on things I don't need to be spending it on? Because if I can look at that objectively, I can probably find ways to pull out another $5 a day, or $10 a day, or $50 a day, or $100 a day that I can save. And believe me, that money adds up quickly over a 2-month span, a 3-month span, a 6-month span. And if you have that capital amassed, then you have the freedom to either renegotiate your work hours, renegotiate your pay, because you're not worried if you say, hey, I want to work less hours, hey, I want to work remotely, hey, I want to make more money. You're not worried about them getting mad at you or firing you because you have money amassed where you don't need the job as bad as you did anymore. You've given yourself freedom. And what happens is people don't give themselves breathing space. So they stay, even though they want to leave their job 3 years later, they're just as dependent on their job as they were 3 years before. And so the plan is to create your own sense of freedom. So I hope that this video speaks to you today. I wanted to make a little bit different video and share an amazing story that inspired the crap out of me, and something that I think many people can relate to. And so, if this speaks to you, please just rewind this video and watch it back through. Take notes on the big ideas to implement, which is looking at your finances, setting actionable savings goals, asking yourself and really looking at what are ways I can create other streams of income, putting it on the top of a piece of paper, multiple streams of income, and jotting down what you might be able to do to create those other streams of income. Set yourself a time frame. I'll recognize that in our world, quite often, capital is freedom. Amassed capital is freedom. Otherwise, we're at subject to our boss, or a job we don't want to be at, or a location we don't want to live in anymore. And so it's looking objectively at those things and saying, how can I get my first $100 saved? How can I get my next $1,000 saved? How can I get my first $5,000 saved? What is a timeline for which I can do this by? And then what's my plan to do that? Okay, can I siphon $5 a day from my checking account and have it automatically deposited into my savings account? What can I do to start to move that needle forward? So this is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com. If this speaks to you, be sure that you download my free success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's so important to train your mind to think this way, for success, for abundance, for prosperity. I talked about tactful things that Katie did, but every day she was listening to this hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's free. Train your mind for success and for abundance. And then make sure that you hit the subscribe button, the bell notification. That's what notifies you for a new video. Please share this video with somebody you know that might be able to get value out of this video. Maybe you and one of your friends, your boyfriend, your lover, your wife, your husband are in a similar circumstance. Watch this video together and have a conversation about it, about how you can apply these ideas to get to where you want to be. Have an absolutely beautiful day. If you haven't yet, make sure you check out The Second Mind. It's our software we designed to rewire the brain. It's a free demo. You can use that. Like, the way the brain works is the actual nerve cells of the brain wire together. The neurocircuitry of the brain wires together. So it's very difficult for us to think thoughts of abundance, prosperity, success when our mind is conditioned in another way. And psychologists say 70% of our thoughts are actually negative and redundant. And so that's just the way our culture is. And so you can demo it for free. It's thesecondmind.com. Hashtag down below, best life ever, if you watch this video all the way through. And if you can't relate to this video, just share this video with somebody. Be a good friend, be a good family member. Thank you for watching. I love you, I appreciate you, and have a great day.